Hi. If you only knew how many times I tried to make this video already, you would laugh because it's pretty hilarious. In fact, I've been telling myself for a while now, you know, to put some content up on YouTube. And this week I finally just had a breaking point, and I promised myself that I was going to do it. So here I am. And I'm sorry that the quality is probably going to be pretty bad. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm using my phone, and I hope the sound and everything's okay. I do want to try to make this happen though, so I am going to try my best to improve as I go, and I'm open to suggestions and any input. So thank you in the meantime for your patience. I want to start this YouTube channel for a few reasons. The number one reason is I'm trying to tackle some health problems and some health goals that I have, and I really feel like doing this might be a tool for me to encourage me to make some progress, hopefully, and hopefully this will be a document of what I've tried and what has worked and what progress I make. I'm wanting to think positively, and I'm hoping that this is what this, that is what this can be, this channel. I'll have it to look back on. I'll have it to remind myself of everything that I overcame. Number two reason is maybe then it can be a resource. Maybe then this information can be there for other people to find. Because I have been looking recently for information about some of the stuff that I'm going through, and I'm not finding a whole lot yet. I'll tell you more about that in a little bit. So yeah, number two reason is maybe this can then become a resource for somebody else to find and, feel supported, or, provide anything at all. If there's even one little thing that helps one person, I will feel really good about that. The third reason is the opposite of that. Maybe someone else sees this and sees my struggle, and they are further along this path than I am, and so they have information to share with me, and can help me, skip some steps and save myself some time by benefiting from from the knowledge or the experience that they have. And then, full disclosure, my fourth and final hope for this channel is that if it gains any traction, and excuse me, I'm sorry, this is Sebastian, he's one of my kitties. If it gains any traction and becomes at all monetized, anything that I make at all from having a YouTube channel will just hopefully go to offset some of the various expenses that I'm having right now because of my health problems. And, every little bit counts. So I'm going to try. He wants to be in the video, I guess. I'm going to try really hard to make this content as beneficial for you and I as possible. And maybe that will be worthwhile enough to get views and, like I said, gain me some monetization. And yeah, that will be great. That is not my ultimate goal. If nobody ever discovers this channel to amount to anything and I'm never monetized and everything, like, let's just consider that icing if that happens. But I just want to be full disclosure, like, that would be great. This, I am wanting this channel to be a full disclosure channel, by the way. I'm going to do everything I can to like protect my privacy and the privacy of anybody else involved, for obvious reasons. But I I just assure you that all of this is 100% honesty and 100% genuine. Genuine? Yeah. Anyway, you know what I mean. So who am I? Like, what's going on? Like, what's happening? What was my breaking point that made me, promise myself to make this channel once and for all? So I'm 53. I'm a wife, a mom, a friend, a daughter. I'm dabbling homesteading, community service oriented type of person. But above all, what's going on with me right now is I'm having a lot of health problems. I've kind of been having things on my radar for a while, and they've sort of seemed like kind of scattered and sort of all over the place. So it's been really hard for me to pinpoint like what has been up. I'll give you a little bit of a spoiler here. It's looking like there is a pattern, and it's looking like it may all be connected, and it's looking like it's going to be autoimmune in nature. And just so you know, I've heard of autoimmune stuff in the past, but it's not anything anything in my family has been diagnosed with, and it's not anything that I really know anything about. I've never read any books. I don't know much about it, but it's on my radar now because I have gotten some official diagnoses beginning back in December of 2023, which is not quite 6 months ago. So anyway, still relatively new. But in looking for information on what's going on with me, I haven't found a whole lot. So let me just try to get started with a little bit of a backstory. And I'm sorry for anything that's missing in the story. I'm sorry if I'm rambly at all. I'm not following a script or anything. I'm doing my best to just do this in a conversational style so I don't have to edit, because I don't know how to edit and I don't have any editing software. I'm just recording this on my phone on my porch. So bear with me. But starting in, I think it was the summer of 2022, I started to have some discomfort in my abdomen. I'm overweight, and I have been for quite some time. I'm the type of overweight, though, where I don't go up and down like a lot. I vary maybe by 10 pounds up or down at any given time, but it's not big. If I wear a Fitbit and I have a smart scale, and I've been pretty regular about going to doctors over the years. So if you look at all my records, I've been right around the 220s for like the longest time. And I'm 5'5" ish. I know that's too heavy by most accounts, BMI chart or whatever. I think that puts me at like at least 80 pounds overweight. I believe in body positivity, so I think people can be beautiful and healthy even at all different sizes and shapes. I just know that for my body, my height, my weight, like I have felt unhealthy for some time. And in case you're wondering, yes, losing weight and, excuse me, Sebastian, getting healthy, has been, losing weight as part of getting healthier has been on my radar for a long time. Tried everything, you name it. I've probably tried it. Not any of the wacky stuff. Like, I don't know. I mean, I shouldn't judge, right? Because who knows what what people believe. But for me, I've tried like, you know, all the things like Weight Watchers and keto and I don't know, all kind of stuff over the years. And again, not a lot of luck there. But I'll talk about probably more of my weight loss efforts in later videos, because that is a huge part of my weight loss goals and my weight loss issues or my health issues. It's a huge part of my health goals and my health issues, I think. And so I will talk about that in more videos later. But for right now, that's like an aside. But I'm bringing it up because in 2022, when I first started having abdominal discomfort, I went to the doctor, primary care, and they did an ultrasound, and they said that I had an enlarged liver. So they did blood work, and the blood work confirmed that I'm having a fatty liver disease, the non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. And for anybody who's curious, no, I don't drink. I never have. You know, even times where I try to drink alcohol, you know, just for fun, it never really agreed with me. And I have some thoughts on that too. More to come, future videos, having to do with histamine intolerance. If you know what that is, great. You'll be ahead of the game. This is Poe, another one of my cats. But if you don't know what that is, don't worry about it, because I'm still learning what that means, histamine intolerance. But I think that's part of why I can't drink. But so the type of fatty liver disease that I have is a non-alcoholic one anyway, and it's highly associated with or correlated with or believed to be caused by obesity or whatever. So that was diagnosed in 2022, and all they told me at that time was to like less of this, more of this, is actually what the doctor said. Like he literally said those words and he literally did those motions. Yeah. Because everybody who sees me, even doctors, you know, they assume that I eat too much and that I don't, you know, move enough. I'm you know, lazy or something. Well, anyway, he did offer me Ozempic at that time, and Ozempic was like brand new, and I didn't know anything about it. So I went home and I read about it, and I told him that would be a hard no, because I went to him for stomach pain, and like the number one side effect from Ozempic for most people, I think all people, I think he said like 100% of people, it gives them terrible stomach aches. So I'm like, why would I come see you for stomach pain and then I just want to take something that's going to give me more stomach pain? So I said, no, thank you. And that was like summer of 2022. So fast forward to like fall of 2023. I went over a year of having more issues, and they started to become more severe, and they started to become, you know, more often. And for anybody think that it's like related to like going to the bathroom type stuff, like not really. I wasn't really having like any trouble going to the bathroom, like constipation, stuff like that. It wasn't that type of symptoms. It was like I would have a pain like right here in my midsection, kind of high up underneath my chest and rib cage area, kind of off to the left. And that's more the stomach side of things and not the liver side of things. So I was like, what if it's more than just my liver? Like, what if I have something else going on, like an ulcer in my stomach or a hernia? And the reason I thought that that sounded possible is because I have a lot of problems with my breathing too. And somebody that I had met told me that she had a really bad hernia and she didn't even know it, but it was really affecting her breathing really bad. Like she was even on oxygen and everything. But then when they discovered that she had a hernia and they repaired it, then suddenly all of her pain went away and her breathing got easier and everything. So I was like, huh, I wonder if I have a hernia. And the reason I thought it could be an ulcer is because I have had a duodenal ulcer in the past, like when I was in a college, like, you know, college stress and everything. So I kind of remember what that feels like, and some of it is similar but different. And so I thought, well, maybe. And also too, something you'll hear more about if I keep making these videos, which is my goal. I have a lot of life stress right now. Like who doesn't, right? But things with my parents are tough. They're having a lot of health issues. They're having a lot of decline in their independence. Anyway, there's a lot of stress that goes along with that. And there is a lot of lifting and lugging of like everything from groceries to wheelchairs. And so that's why I thought I could have like an ulcer or a hernia. And so when I told my doctor about it in fall of 2023, she referred me to a gastroenterologist, stomach specialist, and I talked to him about it. And he told me, he's like, well, I don't really think it sounds like a hernia or an ulcer. I think really you're just like maybe having reflux because of your obesity. And I think that it's clear, you know, you're overweight, you need to lose weight, you know, you need to eat less, move more. He said the same thing. He offered me Ozempic, a prescription for Ozempic. He also offered me a prescription for PPIs, you know, those proton pump inhibitors that like suppress acid or whatever. And I told him that I wasn't really interested in either. I was really trying to get to the root of what was causing this, and I wasn't just trying to band-aid over, you know, and I told him that while I was interested in losing weight and I'd be interested in, like, from his perspective as a stomach doctor, like what's a better diet or whatever for somebody trying to lose weight. Yeah, he didn't really have, you know, any input on that. He didn't have any, not even a brochure to hand you or something. So he did, however, schedule me for a colonoscopy and endoscopy because I'm 53. And he said that anybody over, I think it's 45, should have a colonoscopy. And I'm telling you, if you're listening to this and you're over 45 and you haven't had one, you probably should schedule one because they can find some pretty important stuff pretty quickly. And these things respond better to be founding early. So don't delay. If you're due for one of those, do it. Don't put it off. So that's my public service message for right now. So anyway, he said I was due for colonoscopy anyway. And while I was under, he could do an endoscopy. He didn't think he was going to find anything, but he'd do it anyway while I was under anesthesia, just get it all done out of the way. So that's what we did. And that was December of 2023. And he did not find a hernia. He did not find an ulcer. But what he did find was tumors. He found, they're called gastric carcinoids. Gastric because they're in the stomach, and carcinoid because they're, you know, a form of, fortunately, slow growing cancer. I say fortunately because there's definitely aggressive forms of cancer, and if you have to have a type of stomach tumor, like I got the one that's less aggressive, so that's good. But they are tumors. They're neuroendocrine tumors, and they're growing in there because I also have an underlying condition that I didn't know I had, which is where the autoimmune picture comes in, and it's called autoimmune atrophic gastritis. Now, it is this disease that is basically prompting me to make this YouTube channel, because I'm the type of person that as soon as I find out I have something going on, I want to try to, I'm hyper vigilant, you know, I want to try to go and look up what it is and why I have it and what can I do about it and all that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna pause this. Okay, I think I did that correctly. Let's hope that I did. It looks like it's still counting down. All of this is new to me, and I don't want to have to learn how to edit yet or get editing software. So I just used the pause button for a second. So hopefully that works. So I looked up autoimmune atrophic gastritis, and there is not a lot out there. Apparently it's rare, or it may be occurring more often, but just not like often diagnosed yet. I don't know. But what it is it is autoimmune, meaning it's involving my own immune system attacking my own cells. Atrophic, which means like atrophy. The lining and the tissues in my stomach are atrophying or wasting away. and gastritis. So an itis is an inflammation, and the gastric is stomach, so an inflammation of the stomach. But it's not like a regular gastritis, like when you have a lot of acid and you're getting heartburn and you can take antacids and like settle it all down and it can heal. This is a more of an apocalyptic gastritis, where I'm actually not producing enough stomach acid because the cells that produce acid in my gut are dying. And I'm having like various problems producing acid. And so without acid, I can't digest things that, like you need acid to digest proteins. And I'm not producing enough acid, so I can't properly digest proteins. So I'm ending up with malabsorption issues like a persistent anemia and other vitamin and mineral deficiencies. And I'm not as bad as some people. Like it can get really bad, and I'm hoping that I found this enough that while the level of destruction in my gut right now is bad, it's pretty severe and it is pretty apocalyptic. It seems like it could be a whole lot worse. In fact, the doctors say that they don't know what causes this to happen. It's considered idiopathic, or meaning they don't know what the cause is. You can have a form of atrophic gastritis that's caused by a pathogen like H. pylori, like you get an infection with something like that, or E. coli or something. So then you take antibiotics and you kill back those pathogens, and then the cells and the lining in your gut is able to recover. And then once the pathogen's gone and your lining recovers, then you can basically like cure that gastritis. Well, unfortunately, I'm glad in a way that I'm not having an overproliferation of some pathogen like H. pylori or something. But yeah, I don't have those pathogens. So there's no way I can take antibiotics to kill anything off. That doesn't seem to be the root of why my stomach is atrophying. They therefore think that it is autoimmune. And the reason they think that, and they've done the blood work on me to like confirm, but I am positive for something called anti-parietal cell antibodies. So there's these cells in our gut called parietal cells. They're super important for like absorption of B12, for example. And I'm not a scientist or a doctor, so I'll do my best to explain these things as I learn them. But you really should talk to your doctor or do your own research if you're facing any of this stuff. But B12 is really, really important. Like if you are deficient enough in B12, you can die. So these parietal cells are one of the things their job is to do is for the absorption of B12 in the body. So in any case, they have found these anti-parietal cell antibodies in my system, as well as an elevation of gastrin, which is my stomach's way of like trying to fix itself, trying to help me digest so I can, process food. Because by the way, I just want to tell you this in case like this is going to sound so basic, right? So dumb, but I think it's important to mention because I think there's something in our society where it's like really gotten screwed up. Like we look at food that we eat, right? And we eat in terms of like what we want to eat or what we feel like eating or what we're in the mood to eat or like what our favorite foods are or like maybe even like certain things like addiction. Like I feel like I've kind of been a sugar addict in my life. I'll do videos about that later. But the fact of it is like there's really only one reason to eat, and it's not entertainment, and it's not socialization, and it's not pleasure or comfort. Like these should not be reasons we're eating, right? Like the one reason we should be eating is to fuel our bodies. And again, we can talk about this more later, but I just want to put this out there for right now because basically what's happening with this disease of mine is I can't properly fuel my body because I'm not digesting properly. Even if I eat like the superest, healthiest, nutritious foods and whatever, I'm still working with a broken gut now, you know? So, I looked up autoimmune atrophic gastritis and gastric carcinoids when I got these diagnoses, and I was surprised to find that there wasn't a single YouTube channel that I could find. Maybe it's out there. Maybe I just haven't gone through the depths of YouTube, but I couldn't find a single YouTube channel where somebody was talking about having this disease and how they're treating it or how they fixed it or if it can be fixed or anything like that. I can find like doctors or health professionals. There's a few videos. You know, like maybe I could count on two hands how many videos there are talking about autoimmune atrophic gastritis. But they're all from the pathogenesis end of things. Like, what is this disease and what is happening with the cells? It's all very interesting, and it's all very, I've really enjoyed watching them and learning about what is going on with me, because I'll tell you right now, the doctor did not really explain any of this to me. You know, the doctors have basically, what have they told me? They told me that it is a disease that they don't really know what causes it. They know that it involves the immune system attacking your own cells. They don't really know what to do about it. There really isn't any treatment to stop it or stall it or slow it. They don't really have any. I've specifically asked them, like, what should I eat? What should I not eat? What should I avoid? They have no opinions because, you know, they're Western medicine based doctors that are all evidence based. Like if something is not proven by like research and studies and evidence based stuff, like they don't even want to recommend something. Like, for example, because I don't produce acid properly, I had read online somewhere about how some people will supplement themselves with acid. They'll take like hydrochloric acid supplements. And so I asked one of the doctors, should I do that? Should I try that? You know? And the doctor just shrugged. The doctor's like, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Like, I can tell you that there's not enough studies on it to say yes or no that you should or shouldn't do it. It's hydrochloric acid, so it's a pretty bad acid, and your stomach lining is already like wasting away. So do you want to go put some harsh acid in there? It might not be safe, you know. I don't know. I don't know if that's a supplementation that I will end up doing. But that is something that I heard, and that is something that I asked the doctors about. And that is an example of somewhere where they were like, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. And when I said, well, what should I eat or not eat or avoid or what supplements or whatever, they said the same thing. They're just like, we don't really have any guidance for you. And these are stomach doctors. It's not like I'm going to an elbow doctor because my elbow hurts and I'm asking the elbow doctor, like, what should I eat to help my elbow? You know, I was going to a stomach doctor about stomach problems and finding out that I have a bad stomach diagnosis and asking them what I should eat. And they still don't have any guidance, you know? So that's why I went to the web and started looking for stuff. And I'm still doing that. I'm still trying to find resources. And if you have any to share with me, like, please do not hesitate to share your suggestions. I am pretty exhausted and pretty depressed and discouraged, and that makes researching pretty difficult sometimes. Excuse me. But I am open to suggestion, and I am a sponge. And don't try to get any money out of me. P.S. By the way, if you're watching this and you think you can market something to me because I'm desperate, like, you can't get blood from a stone, you know? I don't have anything like that to give, which I'll get back to in a minute when I talk about what happened this week to prompt this promise to myself to make this video. But I am, like, person to person, or certainly if anybody out there is an expert and knows definitively things that I should try, like, I am open to hearing what you have to suggest. And I'm kind of in that sponge state right now. And anything that I do find, anything that I do try, that's what I hope to talk about on this channel. Again, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist. You know, take that word of caution that you speak to your doctors about your health, because I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just trying, you know. So back to the autoimmune atrophic gastritis. I looked on the web for a book. You know, maybe I could find a book about this. In the entirety of the internet, when I did a Google search, and you do it too, tell me if I'm wrong, I found one book on autoimmune atrophic gastritis, and it had one review, no comments, and it was a 1-star review. So I don't even know if the book is worth buying, you know? I don't know if it's worth investing in. It's like the only book I could find. I probably will order it and read it just to see. But can you believe that? Like, in the entirety of the world's internet, there's only one book with one-star review about autoimmune atrophic gastritis. That's what I'm dealing with. That's where I'm at. So I'm feeling pretty alone. What will the doctors do for me? Well, the gastroenterologist is going to follow me. He is going to do this process that I call scope and scoop, which is where he's going to go through endoscopy. He's going to keep going into my stomach periodically and looking for tumors. And if he finds them, he's going to cut them out and send them for testing. I've had that done twice now since December. I had it done in December. I had it done in May of 2024, this past month, or this current month. Today is May 31st while I'm filming this. And I'm scheduled to go again in September. I'm not looking forward to it. I don't like going under anesthesia that often. I don't really have an option. That's the only treatment that they have for me, is to do that or nothing. He did say, and there was another doctor I saw. I went to Duke Medical, and you know, just to like get a second opinion, I went to somebody who specializes in neuroendocrine tumors, which is the type of tumor this is, and wanted them to look things over and tell me what they thought. And I had like a nuclear PET scan and everything. And he basically confirmed all the same stuff and said, both of them told me that it's like not of any known origin, and they're not really sure what to do for it. They don't really have any suggestions about what even to eat or not. And if it gets bad enough, I might need to lose part or all of my stomach, which I didn't even know was possible. I didn't even know it was possible to live without a stomach. Anyway, I don't want it to come to that. And so I'm trying to learn about my disease and what is possible to try to do for it. So where am I at right now? So in March of 2024, I had that nuclear PET scan at Duke. And the good news is it didn't seem like they found any of those neuroendocrine tumors further down my digestive system, which is great. But they did find something going on with my thyroid and with possibly something in my lungs. So I am in the process of following up on those, and we will see where that goes. I have been reading online, and I was told by one of the doctors that a lot of times when you're diagnosed with one autoimmune disease, it's quite often that you can be diagnosed with multiple others. And when you have this one that I have in the stomach, it's very common for it to go along with an autoimmune thyroiditis in the thyroid. And so I'm in the process of getting worked up to figure out what's going on with that, and with the pulmonologist about the stuff in my lungs. So if you want to send me good vibes for that, that would be great. Which brings me to my breaking point this week, which led me to making this video as a promise to myself, because I want to feel like I'm doing something, like there's something I can do. So I went to the endocrinologist a few weeks ago, and I had an ultrasound and blood work. And they said that I needed to come back and do a biopsy because they found 2 masses on my thyroid. And so, in order to know whether it's, like cancer or something, they need to biopsy it. And I scheduled that, and I was planning to go do that. Oh, P.S., I don't think I mentioned this, but I don't really like medical intervention. I don't like taking medicines. I don't like having to go for procedures. Like I said, I don't like having to go under anesthesia. So my goal is I would love to be a healthy person. Like, I would love to be one of those people that you look at, and not like you look at me and you go, wow, she's hot, right? I would like you to look at me and go, wow, she's healthy. Like, that would be my goal. In any case, I went for this thyroid screening, and they found these masses, and they said I needed this biopsy. But then just a few days ago, a bill came in. And now remember, my first diagnosis with everything, like the first I realized any of this was going on was December of 2023. So the end of that insurance cycle, and starting with the new year is like the new, like, going back to like reset your deductible, and you have to meet your deductible. Because again, I live in the United States. We don't have universal health care. I'm not going to get on that soapbox, but I am pro universal health care. I wish we had it, and it's for exactly reasons like this, because since the beginning of the year, I have had so many tests and seen so many doctors and so many appointments trying to figure out what's going on that I have already met my personal deductible for my insurance, and my out-of-pocket maximum, like supposed to be the maximum that you pay because like you reach that amount and you're going to go broke, well, I'm at that point. And also almost my family maximum, like for the whole family, even though I'm the only one that's been to the doctor yet this year. So a lot of money, like that's all been out of pocket that we've outlaid. And I haven't been working. So it's all like, on my husband's shoulders right now. And I just want to put a shout out to my husband. Like, he is a saint. So I met all those deductibles and out-of-pocket maximums and all that. And then after having the thyroid procedures that I've just had this month, I got the bill for like another $1,000. I'm still paying off thousands of dollars from the previous stuff that I have a stack on my desk. And when they call, I just tell them, like, I'll get to you next, And I get this other bill from the endocrinologist's office, and they don't have anything applied from insurance. So I was like, why is that? I'm getting the full bill with, like, insurance didn't kick in at all. And so I called them to ask them about that, and they said, oh, well, you're out of network. Like we're out of network with your insurance. We don't accept your insurance. And I'm like, first of all, why didn't you tell me that ahead of time? Like, when I set the appointment, like this appointment, I was referred to this office by my primary care. My primary care knows what my insurance information is. I supplied all my insurance information to this endocrinology specialist. Like, somebody should have known. Somebody should have said, girl, your insurance isn't accepted and it's going to cost you X, Y, or Z. But they didn't do that. They didn't tell me that. And I'm so, like, maxed out with my life right now. Sorry. And everything that I'm dealing with that I didn't really think to ask, like I just assumed. So anyway, I got this bill from the endocrinologist. I found out they're out of network. And so I call my insurance to find out, like, okay, well, who is in network? And it turns out that in my area, I live somewhere kind of rural, that this endocrinology office is like the only one. There there really aren't others. Like there's other offices that like specialize in pediatrics or maybe specialize in the endocrinology that's like related to reproductive issues, you know. But either nobody that deals with thyroid specifically, or nobody that accepts my insurance, or nobody that is accepting new patients. So I don't know what I'm going to do. Right now I have a message into the portal for this doctor that did the initial scans and found the masses. And I told her what happened about how I'm not, you know, they're not in network for my insurance provider, and how my, you know, amounts are maxed out. And I know that she wants me to have this biopsy to follow up on these masses that were found. But I asked her, I said, you know, overall, what does my blood work look like? Like, are there any big red flags? Also, these masses that you found, like, are they very suspicious? I know you can't really tell without a proper biopsy, but like, would it be feasible for me to maybe put it off for a little while and then go back in later and get an ultrasound? Because even though ultrasounds aren't as definitive as biopsies, the fact is they're cheaper, you know? So maybe we can compare like the size and shape and, you know, location of the current masses with like how do they look in 6 months, like that kind of thing. And then I just said to her, or like, I'm open to other suggestions. Do you have other suggestions? Because I don't know what else to do. So that's why I decided. I really promised myself I was going to try not to cry, because all of this is pretty stressful and upsetting. And I am a very emotional person. But I'm learning a lot of lessons recently too about like, basically I don't want to spread my grief around. That is not why I want to do this YouTube channel. I do not want to spread my grief around. I'm not looking for just somewhere to vent or people to feel bad for me or something like that. I really don't want that. What I want is I just want to share and maybe share resources in terms of like information that people may have or information that I find, like I said before, you know. And if this does garner me some monetization through YouTube, hey, that will help, but that will be icing. Like, I don't care if that never happens. Um, I do I do really want to, like, I'm really hoping, like, the power of positive thinking, right? Like, I'm hoping that I'm going to look back on these videos in like 6 months time or a year from now, and I'm going to have learned so much, and I'm going to have made so much progress, you know, that this will all be positive to watch in the end. But for right now, you know, I am sad. It is stressful and overwhelming. Um Also too, like I get hung up on this thing, like because I I'm a really pretty healthy person. Like, people who know me know that I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs of any kind. Uh, I'm kind of a goody two shoes. I'm always like a do-gooder. Um, you know, try to be the difference I want to see in the world. You know, I try really hard to be active. I try really hard to eat well. I try to take care of myself, you know? So to have this happening, it just feels very unfair. And I just have to keep telling myself, as my son likes to remind me, you know, we don't live in the fair universe. So, you know, you got to just take it as it comes. So I think that's all for now. I think that's where I'm going to leave it. I think this is like a 45-minute video. God, I'm so sorry. I'm going to try to make videos that are not this long in the future. I know a lot of people don't have time to just sit and listen. Hopefully you were able to do something else while you listened to this one. Maybe you were driving in the car or folding your laundry. That's usually what I do when I watch YouTube. So I will end it here. But one more time for anybody who wants to write it down or look it up, or if you happen to have the same thing as me, my current diagnoses are autoimmune atrophic gastritis with gastric carcinoids that are neuroendocrine tumors. And I'm currently working to understand what's going on with my thyroid and my lungs. I didn't really talk about my lungs much at all this time. That'll be a future video, but maybe it's all related. We'll see. Thank you for listening, and thank you for your patience, and thank you in advance for any information that you can share. And if you happen to have found this because you're going through the same crap as I am, like, just know you're not alone. And, you know, let's talk. Let's figure this out together as much as we can. I hope you have a beautiful day. Let's focus on the positive no matter what else happens, okay?